The Chalmers Tandem Series walking beam is a key part of the load support and equalization system of the suspension. It not only acts as a lower support and anchor point for the spring system, but also provides the means to equally share the vehicle load to the axles. The walking beams have wear points at each end contact between the beam ends and axle saddles. The rate of wear at these points will vary depending on the operating conditions and axle loading. Chock the front tires to prevent the vehicle from moving. Lift the rear of the vehicle, support the frame on stands so all the weight is just off the suspension and the beam ends are off the saddles. Maneuver the beam so the wear area thickness on the bottom face may be determined using either a micrometer or a caliper. Measure the thickness at the wear area and a non-worn area. The wear allowance is the difference between thicknesses and must not be any greater than 0.062 inches. All measurements should be taken a minimum of a ½ inch from the beam flange to eliminate any edge wear that may have occurred. If the beam shows wear greater than 0.062 inches, a Chalmers wear plate must be installed. Repair of the walking beam entails the use of electric arc welding and must be performed by a certified welder. Remove the two fasteners holding the lower spring plate to the beam. Remove the spring plate, spring, and restrictor can. To remove the beam, it is necessary to roll an axle out of the way. When rolling the axle, the beam end on both sides of the vehicle will be free of the saddle. This will require removal of some or all of the torque rods on that axle. Raise the free end up and slide the beam to remove from the suspension. Inspect the beam ends carefully, looking for cracks and lower flange wear. Cracks along welds may be repairable, while cracks in or across the beam flanges require walking beam replacement. Lower flange wear requires the accurate measurement of lower beam flange thickness. Measurements taken at the flange edges are not an accurate indication of beam wear and may lead to unnecessary beam repair or replacement. Reassemble the suspension by first sliding the beam ends into the saddles of the fixed axle. Roll the other axle into position while at the same time sliding the beam ends into their respective saddles. Reinstall any torque rods that were removed. Replace the spring plate, spring, and restrictor can. Torque all fasteners to Chalmers specifications. This concludes this service chapter of the video. Please contact Chalmers if you require further information.